Why is there a lesser priesthood and a greater priesthood, and what are they?
Priesthood in its most general sense is the power of God. Sometimes we equate priesthood with different orders of the priesthood, and in some ways that's what this is talking about here, a greater and a lesser order of the priesthood. And so if we go starting in verse 23, now this Moses plainly taught to the children of Israel in the wilderness, and sought to diligently sanctify his people that they might behold the face of God. That's why Moses brought them to the mountain, right? So they could be in God's presence. And then remember that, the golden calf and all that business, right? Exactly. They hardened their hearts, could not endure his presence. Therefore, the Lord in his wrath, for his anger was kindled against them, swore that they should not enter into his rest while in the wilderness, which rest is the fullness of his glory. They weren't ready for it. Therefore, he took Moses out of their midst and the holy priesthood, this higher order of the priesthood. The lesser priesthood continued, which priesthood holdeth the key of the ministering of angels and the preparatory gospel, right? They weren't ready for this kind of glory, for this kind of commitment, for this kind of, everything that the Lord had for them. But he left them and gave them in his mercy the preparatory priesthood, this lesser priesthood that would help them get ready. He still loved them, right? That wasn't a question. But this lesser priesthood, which we know sometimes is the Aaronic or sometimes the Levitical priesthood in different contexts, this is what allowed them to prepare. And then in verse 27, this is the gospel of repentance and of baptism, the remission of sins, the law of carnal commandments or kind of temporal commandments, right? So these are the things, the first steps on the covenant path, the first principles and ordinances that prepare us for greater blessings and greater covenants.